People always ask me where's the best place to live, which state's the best, which country, which major city. Today, we're taking a look at the best mid-sized cities to live in 2026. Let's take a look. Number 10, St. Charles, Missouri. St. Charles feels like someone took a historic river town, polished it up just enough, and then said, let's not ruin this. Sitting along the Missouri River just outside of St. Louis, it gives that old school charm with brick streets, historic buildings, and shops that don't feel like they were designed by a designer who changed her name from Marcia Short to Marcia Shorte. The economy here benefits heavily from nearby St. Louis, which means you get access to jobs, healthcare, and all the big city stuff without actually living in the chaos. Housing is still relatively reasonable, especially when you compare it to places where $400,000 gets you a cozy shoebox with commitment issues. In St. Charles, you could still find space without needing a second job or a side hustle that includes knocking off liquor stores. Lifestyle-wise, it's got a little bit of everything. The historic Main Street area actually feels alive, not like a museum that closes at 5 p.m. There are festivals, riverfront views, and enough local pride to keep things interesting without getting weird about it. It's comfortable, it's livable, and it doesn't try too hard, which is honestly part of its appeal. Now, St. Louis does have some rough spots, and they're trying to fix a lot of that, but St. Charles is across the river, which really does help the chaos from a big city stay in the big city. Now, St. Charles has some really good stats, but the one I like is their average home value. That's only $344,000. Number 9, Cary, North Carolina. Cary is basically what happens when a city is run by people who actually read instruction manuals. Everything works, roads make sense, schools are excellent, and the parks look like the city owns more than one weed whacker and 2 lawnmowers. It's almost suspicious how put together this place is. A lot of residents say Cary stands for Containment Area for Relocated Yankees, and honestly, they're not entirely wrong. It's clean, organized, and full of people who moved here for a better life, and they brought their expectations with them. The result is the place feels like it's polished without feeling like you're in downtown Disney. The Research Triangle area gives you access to jobs in tech, research, and healthcare, and you're not stuck in big city chaos. It's suburban comfort with just enough city access to keep you entertained and healthy if need be. Basically, if you like your life predictable in a good way, Cary delivers that for you. They got a really nice brewery there I like. It's called Bond Brothers Beer Company or something like that. It's pretty good. What's really cool about that beer place is they don't cook food, I don't think. I don't remember seeing a menu for them, but they have food trucks there. That's cool. It changes things up. So this place is really nice, and it shows it in the real estate prices. The average home value here is $626,000, so well above national average of $366,000. Yeah, that's national average. It's gone down a little bit. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was up to almost $400,000. Number 8, Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville is the nerdy kid who grew up, got rich, and still doesn't feel like he needs to brag about it. The place runs on engineering, aerospace, and people who casually understand rocket science. Literally, NASA has a presence here, so yeah, overachievers everywhere. What I find really wild about this place is how affordable it is considering the job opportunities and how much these people get paid on average. You could have a solid career and still afford a decent house, which in 2026 feels like finding a unicorn with a horseshoe up its butt that also does your taxes. The growth here has been steady, but not chaotic, which is kind of rare. It's also surprisingly livable beyond the jobs, decent food scene, growing downtown, and enough things to do without needing a survival guide. Huntsville isn't flashy, but it quietly wins in a lot of categories. The average home value in Huntsville, Alabama is $287,000. Number 7, Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville feels like a laid-back friend who somehow has their life together. It's got that college town vibe, thanks to the University of Tennessee, but without the constant headache of a full-on party city. They leave that to Nashville. There's just enough chaos to keep things interesting though, so don't think it's just a sleepy town. You're also next to the Great Smoky Mountains, which both those two towns are in, which means your weekend plans can involve actual nature instead of arguing over brunch reservations. Outdoor access is a perk here. It's basically part of the culture. So is moonshining, but we won't get into that. The cost of living here is still reasonable, especially compared to places that charge $2,500 for a studio apartment with character and an ocean view. Sure, to get that ocean view, you got to stand on the edge of the toilet and look out a little tiny window, and you might see it off in the distance. Knoxville gives you space, scenery, and a decent quality of life without acting like it's doing you a favor. The locals are friendly too. They have a reputation, a good one at that. The average home value in Knoxville is $369,000. Number 6, Fishers, Indiana. Fishers is a really good suburb of Indianapolis, and it's not too far from another one, Carmel. I'm sorry, it's actually Carmel, Indiana. I tried to French it up like we do out here on the West Coast. There's a Carmel, California. But in Indiana, they keep it basic, it is just Carmel. Now, Carmel could have fit into this one just as easy, but we're looking at Fishers this time, where the schools are strong, neighborhoods are well kept, and crime is low enough that people forget to lock their doors. It's part of the Indianapolis metro area, like I'd said, so you get access to a bigger city without having to deal with the daily nonsense. Commutes are manageable, everything feels like it's supposed to be there, like someone planned instead of just letting it happen. It's got a good vibe, and that vibe is kind of stability. It's not an exciting Vegas weekend where you come home married to a stripper, but it's exciting in my life isn't falling apart way. And honestly, that's underrated these days. Fishers is definitely a good place to live. It's one of the top 20 best suburbs in the United States right now. And their average home value is $441,000. Number 5, Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha doesn't try to impress you, which is exactly why it works. It's got a strong job market, especially in finance and insurance, and a cost of living that doesn't feel like a cruel joke that likes to kick you in the nuts every first of the month. You could build a solid life here without constantly checking your bank account, with fear and dread in your soul. I remember those days, it was pretty rough. Downtown has seen some real improvement over the years, and the food scene is way better than you'd think for middle America. No, it's not New York City, but you're also not gonna have to pay upwards of $40 for a freaking sandwich like you do in New York City. Winters are brutal here, so keep that in mind, it's kind of part of the deal. But Omaha is in Nebraska. It's relaxing, it's quiet, nothing crazy goes on in Nebraska. Omaha gives you stability, opportunity, and a no-nonsense lifestyle. It's not glamorous, but it's dependable, and that counts a lot, especially when you have a family, maybe you just got married, have kids, whatever. So much better than living in some of the places in this country. It's got decent stats, and the average home value is under $300,000. Yep, $294,000. Not bad. Number 4, Rogers, Arkansas. Rogers is part of that northwest Arkansas, which might be one of the most underrated regions in the country. I've talked about it before on this channel. Arkansas is a frickin' nightmare. They're so backwards they give reverse a bad name. But not northwest Arkansas, that's completely different. And this area has quietly exploded thanks to companies like Walmart being nearby, bringing jobs, growth, and everything else. Just not a big circus. You also got a lot of really nice natural beauty here, which is a huge bonus. Lakes, trails, rolling hills that make you feel like you're living in a postcard, but one that doesn't cost $800,000 to enter. Outdoor life here is easy and accessible. There's a reason this place is called the natural state. It's naturally beautiful. I think that's one of the best things about Arkansas. If you're not an outdoor person, you don't like fishing, you don't like hiking, some of its best features will be lost on you. It's also the South, so community feels like a community, not in a cheesy way, just people who actually care about the people that live around their house. Rogers is a sneaky good place to live. And for being a place that's, desirable to live with good jobs and good everything, the housing isn't crazy. The average home value here is $385,000. Number 3, Rochester, Minnesota. Rochester is basically powered by the Mayo Clinic, which means healthcare here is elite. It's top shelf. It's numero uno. It's the cat's pajamas. I don't know what that really means, but I heard someone say that when they were talking about something being really good. It's always stuck in my head, and I heard that when I was like 12. But Rochester is all that. The city itself is clean, organized, and yes, a little quiet. This is not where you move to if you need nightlife at 3 a.m. This is where you go if you want things to work consistently without drama and you don't mind the snow, because you'll get a lot of it there. It's Minnesota after all. Winters don't mess around here. You'll get snow, cold, and the occasional existential crisis in January. It's like you get hit by that melancholy stun gun. But if you can handle that, Rochester offers one of the most stable lifestyles in the country with great health care. I always suggest it to retirees who have health issues and don't mind the snow. This is the perfect place for you. If you go look at their stats, Rochester has some of the best stats I've ever seen. They get amenities, things to do, obviously. A+, commute, A+, cost of living, B, crime, A-, employment, A+, housing, A+, health and safety, A+. Schools, A-. Their livability score is 92, which in my opinion, anything over 77 is usually a decent place to live. Yeah, you could do so much worse than Rochester, Minnesota. And here's the cool part. Their average home value, $339,000. That is not bad at all. Number 2, Naperville, Illinois. I know, a lot of you are thinking, Illinois, how is that possible? They've got Chicago and nothing good can happen in a place that has Chicago, according to the cable news I watch. But Naperville is the overachiever of suburbs. Great schools, low crime, nice downtown, and people who seem suspiciously put together. It's the kind of place where even the sidewalks look like they were doing well in life. Now, you are close enough to Chicago to enjoy the big city, but you're far enough away where you don't get none of that Chicago stank on you. It's the best of both worlds if you play it right. Now, it is a great place to live, and it's not cheap, but you do get what you pay for. Naperville is polished, safe, and consistently ranks near the top for a reason. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel, it just makes the wheel work really, really well. The average home value in Naperville is $610,000. So yeah, well above the national average. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about moving to any place in the United States, like one of these cities, there's an affiliate link for Home and Money in the description area below. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere in the country. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Johns Creek, Georgia. Johns Creek is another one of those places where everything just works the way it's supposed to. Strong schools, safe neighborhoods, and a population that seems to have collectively agreed not to tolerate nonsense. It's part of the Atlanta metro area, so you've got access to a major city without living in the chaos of it. Commutes can still be a nightmare here because it's part of the Atlanta metro area, and Atlanta has some of the worst traffic in the United States. Make sure you got a few favorite podcasts because you're going to be sitting there a while. That started to be one of the first things people mentioned about Atlanta these days is the traffic. That being said, the overall feeling about Johns Creek is quite success. It's not flashy, it's not loud, just consistently solid. If you want a place where you could build a life without constant surprises, Johns Creek makes a strong case for doing that. If you like to golf, this is a great spot for it. They have so many golf courses in this area. I do like how it's on the outskirts. It's on the northeast side of Atlanta, so you don't have to go downtown. For the most part, it gets pretty rural after that. I mean, you got Alpharetta right there, and you're not too far away from Marietta, so, you got options around you. You're not totally out in the woods, but you're definitely not in downtown Atlanta. I don't mind Atlanta. Atlanta's a good place to be, but the suburbs are far better. The downside is it is expensive. The average home value here is $703,000, so that's pretty pricey. That's almost Southern California prices. But it might be worth it, especially if you like golf. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.